It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Here in West Bloomfield, parents are looking for many different ways to get their kids outside and keeping them engaged before school starts up again in the fall. And West Bloomfield Parks has got you covered with Camp WB, a fun and engaging day camp series taking place all summer long to help keep your kids entertained. I stopped by one of their sessions recently and spoke with some of the camp directors to find out how these camps are so important.
You know, there is this summer slide of learning, and as far as like reading and stuff goes, so we just try to keep them engaged and not like on electronics. That's why we love hosting camp. You can't bring anything from home, so there aren't any electronics here, and it's really awesome to see the younger kids not with their face down. It's amazing. West Bloomfield does an awesome job. You know, I've been working with kids for about 9 years. I've never been trained for a camp so well. And in addition, the staff, the full-time staff is amazing. And just to be able to utilize the spaces, they've made them beautifully accessible, and it's just nice to have them at our disposal.
So I'm actually a physical education major in college right now, and so I decided to come back to my hometown, West Bloomfield, and give back to my community and ensure that all of our kids are having a good time this summer.
What do you hope are the biggest things that all of these kids take away from their experience with these day camps?
Most definitely that they had a lot of fun. You know, summer break, summer camp is a lot of people as adults. They have very fond memories of summer camp, so I want to make sure they have a lot of fun over the summer and that they can look back 10, 15 years from now and be like, I had a great time at Camp WB.
Yeah, we almost treat camp as an unstructured school environment, so it's more of the like recess, specials, having fun type of part, and not so much the like math, reading, and all of that. So it's really helpful for their social development and their emotional development as well.
And how many kids do you tend to have per year for something like Camp WB?
We have 55 per week, and I think last year that came out to 180 individual kids. So right now they're playing some games outside. They do things like kickball. They're playing a game called Steal the Bacon. And then we do crafts. So we do at least one craft a week, and that's something that helps with their fine and gross motor skills.
Oh, camp is so important in development for kids. They just become more independent and more confident. And so I would just hope that they have that confidence to go to the next activity in their lives, whether it be a softball team or a soccer team. And also it's really cool to see some of them where they've never met each other before, but they realize they're in the same school. So now that they can say hi to each other throughout the year. Like we have fourth graders and kindergartners meeting. So how cool when you go back to school when you're in first grade, you're like, I know that fifth grader. So the relationships too.
The best part is honestly making the connections. Like when you see kids come in here, they're a little bit nervous and shy because they might not know anyone here. And then when you get to become that person for them that can make this a safe place, and then they can be themselves and have the time of their lives, it is the best feeling. And also making an impact on them. Like I had some kids remember me last year, which I did not expect, and that made me so grateful and happy.
These camps make such a wonderful impact to every single one of these kids. And this summer fun is going to be taking place all throughout the next few months. So a big thank you to West Bloomfield Parks for letting me stop by and to getting a close look at all of the smiling faces with Camp WB. Celebrate Independence Day early with the Sylvan July Jamboree, a 3-day community celebration packed with summer fun. Festivities kick off on July 1st at 7 p.m. with Christian's Cupcake Concert at the Community Center, a wonderful talent showcase for residents and their friends. On July 2nd, from 5 to 8 p.m., enjoy mouth-watering eats from Chubb's Barbecue and Good Humor Trucks, plus exciting activities like an Arctic obstacle course, polar plunge inflatables, and classic lawn games. And the celebration concludes on July 3rd with the dazzling fireworks show Show at dusk, courtesy of the Oakland County Boat Club. This is presented in partnership with the Oakland County Boat Club and Oakland County Parks. And this event promises festive fun for all ages. It's sure to be a very, very fun week out in Sylvan Lake and all throughout the greater West Bloomfield community. Grab your blankets and lawn chairs and join the community for a fun-filled outdoor movie night on Tuesday, July 22nd at 6:30 p.m. at the West Bloomfield High School football field. For just $3 cash per person, enjoy a screening of Moana 2 Under the Summer Sky. And all proceeds from ticket sales will be supporting the school activity fund, while concession sales, including pizza, popcorn, ice cream, and refreshments, will benefit the athletic department. No RSVP is needed, and children, if they're coming to this event, they must be accompanied by an adult. And this event is hosted in partnership with West Bloomfield Parks. But this is going to be a very, very fun movie night in just a few short weeks to benefit the school district and everyone in the community. If you're passionate about sports and looking for a rewarding way to get involved, West Bloomfield High School has an exciting coaching opportunities available right now. Join Laker Nation and make a lasting impact on our student athletes. The school is currently seeking a varsity head coach for boys lacrosse, as well as a JV head coach for boys soccer. Don't miss this chance to share your expertise, inspire young athletes, and be part of a proud tradition of teamwork and excellence. You can visit westbloomfieldathletics.com to learn a little more info about the jobs and to find out if they're right for you. But I'm sure that the athletic department would love to have you as part of their team. As the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show is just a few short weeks away, we here at Civic Center TV are taking the time to highlight some of the incredible and highly talented artists you will be seeing at this year's show. But along with showcasing incredible visual artists, there will also be fantastic musical accompaniment throughout the event, courtesy of Denise Davis and the Motor City Sensations. Denise recently joined us on the Splash Live to tell us all about her upcoming performance and what it means to her. Really excited to be getting into this interview. I always love a good musical performance, and I can't wait to see what you've got in store for this year's celebration with the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show. So what inspired you to bring the Motor City Sensation sound to the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show, and how do you feel your music enhances local art experience?
Well, this is my second year coming to the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show as Denise Davis and the Motor City Sensations. And we are super excited to be there in West Bloomfield. It's just really going to be a live show that everybody can enjoy. So I wanted to reach out to different cities within the Midwest. And that's how I got in contact with Miss Patty, who is the spearheader of the whole fest.
That's right, Patty Narozny, who helps put a lot of this stuff together and helps to create the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show every single year. Now, you said this is your second year performing for the Arts Show. What is it like performing for the people of Greater West Bloomfield?
Oh my God. I met a lot of nice people, local residents, and it was so exciting last year because the Midland folks that I performed for came over to the art fair for the first time. So we had a chance to interact with each other. There was some awesome other local artists that was performing as well, and everybody just brought a dynamic show that day.
That's right. Everyone brings the energy, and West Bloomfield is one of the best crowds you could perform for. I know I might be a little biased, but I'm telling you, it's one of the best experiences you will have. Now, what messages or emotions do you hope families walking through the art show will take away from your performance?
Well, as I can speak for myself, I got a chance to go down through the displays. All of the fantastic artistry that's out there, people with some dynamic visions and designs is just simply amazing. And then just to sit there and interact with them about how they started their artistry, and how they became bigger than most. You wouldn't believe that some of these people travel all over the United States with their artwork, and so I got a chance to talk with them and see their designs, and I was just blown away.
That's right. So many incredible artists. I was out at the Fine Art Show last year, met so many great people, and got to see so much creativity right here in Greater West Bloomfield that you don't get to see all the time. It's truly an incredible experience. Now, Denise,
Absolutely.
along with being a performer, you are also an entrepreneur and a business owner. So how do regional events like this one support your creative and your entrepreneurial journey?
Well, I think with me being an artist and a vocalist for the Motor City Sensations, Black Candy, and also Leilani, which is a girl group, reaching out to the communities at large, having people to engage with my marketing materials. Because see, at first, people don't have the sound; they have the marketing materials. So it's really, really important for us to make sure that our paperwork and our displays are very cultivating for people to say, "Ooh, let me read this. This looks good." And so when that happens, then they say, well, let me look her up on YouTube and see what she got going on. And then they see all of the other side of me. So, yeah, I love being around the Midwest, Illinois, and Ohio states, just bringing a great, awesome performance.
And I'm sure it's going to be an incredible performance. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with singer Denise Davis, the lead singer of the Motor City Sensations, talking about what she is going to be bringing to the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show in just a few short weeks as one of their performers. Now, Denise, can you share how your role intersects with community enrichment? Do you mentor or collaborate a lot of young local artists and musicians?
Well, I do collaborate with a lot of bands, the Little Rascals. I love Sal Witcher. I engage with a lot of different prestigious artists. Eric Carter of the Blues Experience, Braxton Davis, the extraordinary singer, Preston Gibson, the balladeer, Frederick B. Velvet of the Platters Tribute, Mike Seville of Phase 5. So there's a lot of people that I am personally involved with locally and around the Midwest. And we are all being professional, bringing an awesome show. But not only that, I've done business with the All Seasons community, the senior citizen community in West Bloomfield. I've also engaged with the Height Apartments there in West Bloomfield. And recently, the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreations. So I am around West Bloomfield quite often.
Sounds like it. Very, very busy and lots of great connections and collaborations to be made along the way. And how have these collaborative events shaped your artistic growth and plans for future projects within Greater West Bloomfield?
Well, I'm hoping, working with Miss Patty this year, I'm hoping that more people will come out and see all of the local talent, and not only that, the artwork especially. But I'm hoping to make a lot of great connections in West Bloomfield that will allow us to expand our businesses and partnerships. And so we're hoping that the community will get on this Splash television and see us and hear what we got going on and come on out and enjoy us.
Trust me, I think there are going to be some big crowds at this event, and you're going to get everything you want to see. Denise, a couple more questions before we wrap things up. What advice would you give to local artists or entrepreneurs looking to showcase their music or art at community events like this one?
Well, first of all, like I said, electronic press kit and manual press kits is most important. Having a good professional video, having your social media platforms, and also just being a professional, wonderful person, knowing how to talk to bookers and things of that nature. So I would say if you have any talent, art, music, background, experience, listen, don't give up.
That's
There's
right.
always a way to get out there.
That's absolutely right. Don't give up. Always a way to look for the future. Denise, can you give us any more sneak peeks of what we can expect with your performance for the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show?
Yes. Denise Davis is going to bring a professional entertainment, exciting show just for everybody to enjoy. We're going to have blues, we're going to have jazz, we're going to have Motown especially. We're going to do a tribute to the veterans. So if you are out there in West Bloomfield, I'm hoping that you come to the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show with me and Miss Patty and all of the residents of West Bloomfield. I need you to come on out and see what we got going on, because Denise Davis is excitement.
Oh my goodness, I am getting so excited. I can't wait to see what's to come with this incredible performance. Denise, thank you so much for joining us here on the Splash Live.
Thank you so much for having me, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you guys.
If you're watching on Civic Center TV right now, you can see I am getting the dancing started already. I am really excited to see Denise Davis and the Motor City Sensations out at the Orchard Lake Fine Arts Show. That is just a few short weeks away, and she will be bringing all of the music and all of the fun with her. And I hope to see everybody out there as well. Within the past year, Pickle Rage in West Bloomfield has helped to inspire the pickleball community right here in Greater West Bloomfield, providing an excellent environment for both beginners and experts. With their 1-year anniversary coming up very soon, Pickle Rage is looking to the future and further inspiring the community. Jesse Francisco, the general manager of Pickle Rage, recently joined us on the Splash Live to tell us his thoughts.
So first and foremost, congratulations. If I'm not mistaken, celebrating 1 year of success.
Yeah,
so I want to say
year,
congratulations.
Yeah, July, middle of July, we opened up last year.
There we go.
Opened it up for, I think, 2 weeks. It was free for everyone. Everyone came in. We had well over 1,000 people, come through the doors each week. And that built into a really good membership base and a player base through the fall and the winter. Obviously, people are a little more inclined to play outdoors, take advantage of that weather that we get in these short bursts. But our serious players still kind of stick around and get their games in. But yeah, it's been an exciting year.
Yeah, man. So let's just talk about it just in reflection through the year. How do you feel like the pickleball community has responded to Pickle Rage?
Oh, it's been great.
Yeah.
I mean, it truly. They've embraced what we do here, and we didn't come in with an iron fist of like, this is how we're going to run things, and this is how Pickle Rage does it. We listen to the community, we listen to our players, and we kind of shape our programming and our schedules based around their needs, their wants, and I think they're receptive to that. They really feel like this is a part of their club, or they are a part of this club and the direction that we go. So yeah, it's been great.
No, that's good to hear, man. First and foremost, love to see it. I drive past there. I'm going to have to make my stop in there, too. I'm a little bit intimidated by this new sport, but I'm seeing a lot of people are embracing it. People are loving it and getting out there and getting active, so that's the most important part. But I'm hearing that you also have classes up there. Not surprised at all, pickleball classes. Let's just walk through some of these. What can people expect if they were to sign up for one of these pickleball classes?
Well, let's take you for example, and I didn't know if that was a planned segue, but it works out perfect actually. I'm still amazed by the amount of people that come through our doors almost daily and just say, "Hey, I've never played before. I really want to play. How do I get playing?" Because just when I think, I'm like, okay, we've tapped into everybody. Like everybody plays this. It still is just picking up so much steam. So it's been exciting. But what we do is we do this intro to pickleball class. So it's designed for players like yourself. You're like, man, I have no idea what I want to do or how to do this. I have no way to go about it. I know I don't want to look silly going out there and doing it. And just like any sport, you want to feel comfortable when you're getting into it and know just some of the rules. So that's what we do. And through the spring and the summer, we're putting a really big push on the intro to pickleball classes. Our website should be updated, if not by the end of the day, very shortly. A very quick and easy way to register and get information on intro to pickleball. Okay. That's a free 1-hour clinic, and that just introduces you to the game a little bit. From there, you would go into what we call our beginner series clinics, and that's a 101, 201, 301, 401 level. You may have to hang around in the 101 a couple times just till you get those skill sets down. Then you move up to the next skill set. I find, and this is kind of why we did it, is with these outdoor courts that are just so popular, and it can be, and you use the word intimidating, you know, you're like, hey, I want to play pickleball, and you got this paddle you got on Amazon, where you borrowed it from your buddy, and you go out there and you have no idea, and you see these players playing, you know, that have been playing for a year or playing, you know, even 6 months. And you're like, I can't, I don't want to do that. So we offer kind of like this safe haven, and embrace all these new intro players. Like, look, you can learn your game here with other players that are on your skill set, and then you progress together. So you build your own community. So I'm very excited to build up this next crop of pickleball players and welcome them into our family here.
Let's go. And you know what? I'm glad you just said that, because that's great for a segue. I want to ask you for a question coming up. But with me right here live on The Splash, by the way, General Manager for Pickle Rage in West Bloomfield, right there on Orchard Lake Road, by the way, Jesse Francisco, just talking about being about a year in business right here and servicing our community, and just talk about some of these Pickle Rage pickleball classes as well. Now, I want to talk about the people that are going through there and actually playing pickleball, right? I don't know who I would expect to be there. Maybe I would expect like big athletic young people, but just talk about some of the trends that you're seeing and people who are signing up for these classes and coming through and playing pickleball.
Well, I tell you, I got whooped by about a 65-year-old woman the other day, and I mean whooped. So it doesn't matter. We have, one of the other things we do here about building this culture is we do a series of junior clinics, and junior, I don't really call them camps, but it's just places that parents can bring their kids in. We teach a holistic way of teaching, and teach them the right way to do it, teach them good sportsmanship. And that starts as early as age 6. So, I mean, we have them in here that young. And then we go all the way, I'd say off the top of my head, the oldest player, mid-70s.
Ooh,
you know,
let's go.
I mean, you get a lot of, the sport is transitioning. You know, it's a lot harder hitters. It's a faster game. But there's a defense for that. You know, I would say the majority of my group of players is what I would call my advanced intermediates. That's a rating, you know, from a 3.5 to just on the cusp of a 4.0. That's kind of where the majority of my players lie. And that's all ages and demographics. There is no, I can look at somebody and say, oh, you'd be a great pickleball player, because it just doesn't matter.
And I think that's very helpful too for people who are just beginning or interested. That way they can't say it's all big muscular people, athletic, or it's all young people there, or it's all women, or it's all men. It's like, no, there's people of all scales in every different type of demographic coming there and being successful at it as well. Jesse, while I do have you here, let's just go ahead and look ahead about the 1-year celebration. You said July is when you'll officially be looking at 1 year. Any special events, promotions, celebration planned for the anniversary?
Yeah. So July 19th, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that's just one day after what our official opening was a year ago. So it's July 19th. We're going to have some music. We'll cater in some food. We'll have free an open play format from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're going to have a Kona ice truck out there, so you can grab a little snow cone or a shredded ice there before you take off. It's just going to be a fun atmosphere. We'll have raffles that go on throughout the day. It's basically just come in, play pickleball, have some lunch, grab a Kona ice, listen to some music, hang out with some friends. Hopefully you win some prizes. And really it's just a thank you to all of the players that play with us regularly and the ones that just swing by once in a while, because they're all equally important to us.
Love that, man. Looking forward to, and congratulations again on 1 year's success right here in our community. We appreciate that. And just
Thanks.
while I have you, just lastly, anybody who is interested in pickleball may have never come, this is your opportunity to sell to them. Why should they come to Pickle Rage for their classes?
It's just, I mean, it starts with our courts and our surfaces. It's a cushion X surface. It's easier on the hips, easier on the joints. We have 3 certified pickleball coaches that can take all that range from all the way to I've never held a paddle to your advanced 4.0 and plus players. So we're here for everyone. We provide an experience for everyone. And it's just from my staff to the members that we have here, everybody's just welcoming, warm, inviting you into the sport because it grows the sport everybody's passionate about. I challenge you, if you've never played before and you find someone that plays, just ask them, be like, oh, you play pickleball, what do you think about it? And just watch the way they light up and watch the way they get excited. It's nothing I've seen before. It's crazy.
No, that's a fact, though. Everybody I talk to about it, it's just they so excited, so much energy comes out of them, and I appreciate that. I love that.
You gave them a lotto ticket. Like,
yeah.
Like the way they light up about it. Like, oh, how long you been playing? Just a month, but I'm addicted. And like, man.
Yeah.
And that's how I was. To be honest, I started this and I never held a paddle. I just kind of selfishly did it for the business end of it. Because I wanted to get on this ride. Yeah. And now, man, at least 4 days a week I'm playing.
That's
crazy.
At
least I try to get some work in, but it's too hard. I got my courts right out there.
Yeah, no, and it's good. Like I said, it's giving us an excuse to get out and get some physical activity going, and that's something that's going to be beneficial.
I mean, to be honest, the difference between outdoor and indoors, my surface is never wet. It's never windy in here. It's always 69 degrees, So you beat that heat. There's no sunshine blaring in your eyes. You're not going to get sunburned because we got to watch that up here. So it's ideal. It's perfect conditions, perfect courts, perfect conditions, and you can't beat it.
No, you selling it, Jesse. Hey, thank you so much again for your time and your information, and hopefully we get more people out there to Pickle Rage West Bloomfield. General Manager for Pickle Rage West Bloomfield, Jesse Francisco. We appreciate you.
Hey, take care. Thanks for having me.
Lots of great fun to be had at Pickle Rage in West Bloomfield, and it's awesome to hear how much of an impact they have had on the community within the past year. And you can take a look on CivicCenterTV.com to take a look at the story package we did last year when Pickle Rage had their grand opening and their ribbon cutting ceremony. Also a chance for you to check out my very unimpressive pickleball skills. But we really appreciate Jesse for stopping by and for telling us what we have to look forward to with Pickle Rage. We're going to take a quick break and get into some more big stories and topics right after this. Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live. Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on CivicCenterTV.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at CivicCenterTV.com and click Schedule at the top of the screen.
A breath of fresh air will do you a world of good. Breathe in deep and let fresh renew your spirit in pure Michigan.
Floodwaters can rise fast. Take precautions to stay safe. Follow the instructions of local officials and all emergency notifications. If authorities say evacuate, don't wait. Do not walk, swim, or drive through floodwaters. Just 1 foot of water can sweep away a vehicle. Never drive around barricades. You don't know what danger may be on the other side. For more tips on how to protect your family, visit ready.gov/floods.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Live, local, social. It's The Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Jake Schaff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Today is the last day of June, which is also known as Alzheimer's and Brain Health Awareness Month. Although more common in seniors, Alzheimer's symptoms can occur much sooner than you'd think, which makes it all the more important to get regular checkups and to stay up to date with your brain health. It is very, very important. Neurologist Dr. Stephen Schechter recently joined us on the Splash Live for a very important discussion on keeping up with your brain health. Really, really happy to have you with us and really, really excited to be getting into this very crucial conversation. So first and foremost, what are some key habits or lifestyle changes people can make to maintain brain health as they age?
So I would say staying healthy in general, keeping your body healthy keeps your brain healthy. Diet and exercise, trying to stay cognitively fit, making sure that you are solving problems and continuing to use the brain in a way that it is stimulated, creates new connections in the brain, and helps to maintain optimal brain health. So physical activity sends oxygen and blood flow to the brain, and then using the brain keeps the brain healthy.
Awesome. Great things for everyone to keep in mind. Now, when it comes to something like Alzheimer's, I feel like a lot of people tend to think of that's something that they don't have to worry about until they reach a certain age, until they're maybe in their 60s or their 70s, but it can happen much earlier. How early should people begin thinking about their brain health, and what preventative steps are the most effective?
So when Alzheimer's develops, it develops over years, not just days or months.
Right.
So maintaining optimal health, as we've discussed, really helps to reduce that risk. I would say maintaining lifelong habits, healthy eating, avoiding processed foods, limiting alcohol, staying physically fit. All of these things can help long term, because once the symptoms develop, it's harder to reverse some of those changes. Medications are available now that can help to treat some of the symptoms of Alzheimer's, but they don't cure the condition. They just slow down progression. So being aware and maintaining optimal fitness long term, I think, is the key strategy through healthy living, diet, and exercise.
That's right. Now, I'm sure a lot of people watching this know somebody or have experienced watching somebody that they love deal with something like Alzheimer's. I certainly have in my life. What are some of the early warning signs of Alzheimer's that people often overlook or misinterpret?
Right. So it can be something subtle. It can be a change in behavior. It can be difficulty performing simple tasks. Maybe this individual needs more assistance with their activities of daily living, or they're starting to develop other signs of what we call higher cortical function. Not only memory loss, but they're forgetting how to work simple objects like hold a utensil or turn on the water faucet, for example. It can be any change from baseline affecting cognition, and that really should be when that individual seeks treatment, because the earlier we can treat, the better we can do in terms of slowing progression. See your doctor. They should see their doctor as well for diagnostic studies like imaging.
That's absolutely right, and I'm so glad you just mentioned something about that. What role would you say early detection plays in managing something like Alzheimer's?
So Alzheimer's is the most common cause of dementia, but there are other dementias, other conditions. Dementia means memory loss. So imaging can be done to exclude multiple strokes, tumors, a fluid buildup called hydrocephalus or water on the brain, or other abnormal structural changes in the brain There's also more advanced imaging now called a PET scan that can look at amyloid deposition, which is an abnormal protein buildup in the brain, which is one of the hallmark features of Alzheimer's disease. So seeing a neurologist can help distinguish, whether this is Alzheimer's disease or another form of dementia. And it's critical to differentiate between those because treatments may be different.
That's absolutely right. Now, I am curious because what is the current understanding of some of the causes of Alzheimer's? Would you say they're more genetic, environmental, or possibly a combination of both?
So I think, the biggest risk is age. It's a neurodegenerative condition that increases with age. It can come on in the 50s and the 60s and older, but increasing age increases the risk. So, I think the most important thing is when those symptoms develop, proceed with appropriate testing, seeing a neurologist. There's an abnormal protein, as I mentioned, called amyloid. It's an abnormal plaque that can build up on the brain surface, and that can be seen now with PET scan, advanced imaging, and there are some medications that can target and remove that amyloid. Labs should be done, blood work to exclude other treatable or reversible causes like a vitamin deficiency or other nutritional deficiency states.
That's right. Lots of things people can keep an eye on to make sure that their brain health is up to par and make sure that everything is working just fine. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with vascular neurologist Dr. Steven Schechter, talking about the importance of brain health and Alzheimer's awareness as we are currently in Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month. Now, Steven, I am curious, what are some common myths or misconceptions that you tend to encounter about the brain that maybe people aren't aware of?
Well, the brain, does have what's called plasticity. The brain can reconnect itself. So some symptoms can improve. We see this after stroke, for example. So when there's brain damage, the brain can also improve. Deficits can change. They can improve over time with therapy. Cognitive therapy, I think, is another important aspect of Alzheimer's disease. That is, with certain techniques, working on so-called brain exercises, one can improve their memory and cognition. So it's not just medication that is the treatment for Alzheimer's disease, but working on a program that helps to retrain the brain to improve cognition and recall.
Okay, very interesting things for everyone watching at home to consider. Now, I understand that there is a big connection with brain function and cardiovascular health. Could you go into that a little bit?
Sure. So, like any organ in the body, the brain requires blood flow. It requires oxygen, and it has its own vascular bed. The blood vessels that supply the brain can be impacted in the same way that the blood vessels to the heart can be impacted with certain comorbidities like hypertension or diabetes or high cholesterol. Anything that impedes blood flow to the brain can contribute to cognitive loss. And sometimes we see a mix of conditions. One could develop Alzheimer's, which is neurodegenerative, but they could also have vascular changes, small micro strokes to the brain, and this can further impact and make cognition worse. So that's why, again, optimal physical health with diet and exercise, controlling those other conditions if they're present, cholesterol, diabetes, hypertension, stopping smoking, reducing alcohol, and choosing a healthy diet, more plant-based options, anti-inflammatory foods, all of these things can play a very important role in optimizing brain health.
That's right. All the more reasons to prioritize your brain health. Now, as we said a little bit earlier, there is no current cure for something like Alzheimer's. However, I am curious if you know how close we are to possible breakthroughs in a treatment or a cure for something like Alzheimer's, and if there are any studies or developments that you're excited about at the moment.
Yeah, so a lot of new treatment options have come out, the first in many, many years. We have 2 agents currently on the market that target amyloid, that plaque that can build up and disrupt the connection of neurotransmitters in the brain, contributing to some of the memory decline. So these are infused medicines where you go to an infusion center and they remove that abnormal protein. And so that can be promising. It's not a cure, but it does slow down progression. There's a new class of medications that are being studied now that target not so much amyloid, but tau, another abnormal protein that can be present in Alzheimer patients that can disrupt neuronal transmission. So targeting amyloid, targeting tau, and then we have some, existing medicines that work on acetylcholine. They're called cholinesterase inhibitors, older drugs that have been around for years. So it might be a combination of all of these, but I am excited about the new therapies because they do offer a greater degree of improvement than what we've seen with existing meds.
And I'm sure a lot of people watching this are going to be just excited about these treatments as well. Dr. Schechter, before we let you go, is there a final message you'd like to share with the public for Brain Awareness and Alzheimer's Awareness Month?
Yes, absolutely. I think, just having that awareness can make a difference because some patients come in and they say, well, I'm just like all of my friends my age. There's nothing really wrong. But it is important to get checked out. I think the best thing is to see a neurologist and be evaluated because then appropriate imaging, blood work, counseling, and diagnostic tests can be performed that can really impact the long-term treatment and management of this condition.
Well, lots of great things I hope everybody takes away from this very important conversation. Dr. Schechter, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jake. Thank you so much.
You're a senior or a junior, brain health is important and something you should always stay aware of. And even though Brain Health Awareness Month is coming to an end, it's something you should be aware of any time of the year. So we really appreciate Dr. Schechter for taking the time to talk with us here on the Splash Live. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is, people are always on the lookout for jobs and employment. Michigan's unemployment rate remains high at 5.4% as of May 2025, ranking as the second highest in the nation, although it is slightly improved from April's 5.5%. But in the last couple of years, AI tools like ChatGPT, Bard, or Claude can assist job seekers in resume optimization, tailored cover letters, interview prep, and uncovering hidden transferable roles. Joining us now on the Splash Live is Christian Williams with the CJW Consulting Group of West Bloomfield. Christian, glad to have you with us.
Thank you. Good morning. Good to be here.
Good morning to you as well. And I want to jump right into things. Michigan's unemployment rate is currently among some of the highest in the country. How are you seeing this impact job seekers here in Greater West Bloomfield?
I think in general that we've entered somewhat of a white collar recession. Our unemployment rate is higher than the average. Average unemployment rate right now has been holding for the last several months at about 4.2%. However, we're at 5.4, so we're a little bit higher, and I think that a lot of that is linked to, of course, as everyone knows, in Michigan, we are heavily tied to the automotive industry. Basically, 20% of our jobs are tied to the automotive industry. We're also seeing a lot of layoffs, a lot of things related to the tariffs and things like that. So a lot of jobs are directly tied to manufacturing, or they're indirectly tied. So I think that's really impacting our economy.
You're absolutely right about that. And I know that job searches can be very taxing for a lot of people. It can be a very frustrating process to partake in. But as I said, there have been some great AI tools that have been coming out recently. What practical steps can local residents take starting today to use AI tools like ChatGPT or AI-powered platforms to stand out in their job applications?
So I think that, you can definitely use AI as it pertains to your job search. I, of course, have a business where I'm focused on helping people with resume writing, interview preps, and really tailoring their documents to those roles. But at the same time, there's also AI that can be used for that. I do know people who have used AI to help with their resumes. Now, I don't personally suggest that you just use AI exclusively. I think you can use it as a tool, and then you still need to go in and, possibly make amendments, really tailor it toward the role that you're applying for. But ChatGPT has been, a useful resource for many. And people have been able to use that to kind of get some help with, writing their resumes, their cover letters, and things like that, and really customize it toward the role. But I think it's important to really remember that AI is very highly input driven. So you're only going to be as good as what you're feeding it. So you have to really know what to ask it to really make it specific and really make sure that you're creating something that's going to be tailored to you and be specific and not just a generic, document.
That's absolutely right. Don't have it be the only tool in your tool belt. Use it to help you get started, but then maybe fine-tune it a little bit more from there. And you just touched on this a little bit just a second ago, but with AI applying to thousands of jobs per minute, how can job seekers in West Bloomfield make sure that their applications remain personalized and meaningful?
I think it's definitely about really making sure that you're looking at the requirements section of the job posting and you're really making sure that you have those skills. And that's one thing, that's where a lot of people go wrong, is they just kind of mass apply for 20, 30, 40 jobs, but they're not really targeting what the company is asking for. And so a prime example, let's just say that the company's job posting in the requirement section says they want someone with very strong leadership skills. Well, then you need to be showing how you've led a team, how you've managed a team. You need to say that you have strong leadership skills. Unfortunately, a lot of people, they don't really say that. They just kind of look at a job posting and they say, oh, okay, I have these skills, and then they apply. But I'm like, is your resume really saying that you have that? So even if you're using AI, you need to really make sure that you're showing that you have the skills that are requested in that job posting and that you're tailoring it accordingly.
For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Christian Williams with the CJW Consulting Group in West Bloomfield as we tackle unemployment rates in Michigan and in Greater West Bloomfield and tools that can be used to help you find some work. Now, you talked about it a second ago that manufacturing has been very hard hit in Michigan. What advice do you have for job seekers transitioning from that sector to maybe to something else? Are there new roles or industries that they should explore?
I think that you definitely have to focus on transferable skills. And that's the thing. Sometimes people are in manufacturing roles and some of them may be paid very well, but they're somewhat in a, I don't want to call it a niche role, but are their skills really transferable to other industries? And I really think that this is the time to really be investing in your education, whether even if it's not a full degree program or it doesn't even have to be a 4-year degree program, but this is the time to really be getting, training, certificates. There's all types of education that you can, pursue, even if it, local community colleges. We're in Oakland County. Oakland County Community Colleges is a great institution. So this is a time where I really think people need to be investing in their education, really leveling up those skills, really looking at what they can focus on and how it's transferable. If you're in a leadership role in manufacturing, focus on those transferable skills so that you can use those skills and, get into another industry. But I think this is definitely a time where you have to remain versatile and you cannot put all of your eggs in one basket.
I like that. Use this opportunity to build your resume up a little bit more, to show what else you could do, and to learn some new skills along the way. That is very, very smart advice for anyone, whether they currently have a job or they're looking for something else. Going back to the AI tools that can help you find some other form of work, let's say you end up getting to a job interview. How should job seekers balance AI-driven tools with demonstrating essential human qualities like curiosity, communication, and confidence?
So I think it's definitely important to focus on, your soft skills as well, because at the end of the day, you can have the strong, technical acumen, you can have the education, but if you're not likable, if you're not adaptable, if you're not flexible, people may not want to hire you. You know what I mean? So I think you really have to focus on those hard skills. You can leverage your AI resources, but you have to be able to show that you're a good person for the job, and that's not always exclusively based on your technical skill set.
That's right. All things for everybody to stay aware of. Now, I'm curious, are there emerging job opportunities in our region that are created by the AI economy itself, roles that West Bloomfield residents should possibly be training for?
Well, what I would say is, we definitely have tech companies here, such as Google. Although Google's not necessarily specifically in West Bloomfield, they do have a presence in the Metro Detroit area. Like, there's an office downtown. I believe we have an office in Ann Arbor. So those companies like that, those big tech companies, they have a lot of potential AI opportunities. A lot of the tech roles are also remote, so you do not necessarily have to be, exclusively seated in the region where the company may be. There's lots of roles like AI product managers, research scientists. I had a client recently who worked in generative AI. So there's roles. She worked remotely. So there's roles and there's opportunity to break into that sector.
Once again, Christian Williams with the CJW Consulting Group of West Bloomfield is joining us right now on the Splash Live as we tackle unemployment rates in Michigan and what residents can do to help get them back into the workforce. Now, for young adults entering the job market right now, maybe in a state still recovering from job losses, what role can AI play in helping them find their first meaningful employment?
AI is a very useful tool, and you can ask AI almost anything, like a chat GPT or something like that. And so I think one way to look at it is you can ask AI and say, hey, based on my skill set, based on the experience I've had, based on the internships that I've completed, what role would align best with my background? I think that's one way that you can use it. You can also use it with your resumes and your cover letters and things like that. I think this is the time to really focus on transferable skill sets and to focus on your impact. You cannot just have a task-oriented resume. You need to show your impact, how you've improved costs, how you've cut costs, how you've negotiated new relationships you've formed. You really have to focus on that, because a lot of the college students who are graduating right now, they're having a difficult time finding jobs. Again, we're in somewhat economically, we're not in the true recession, but we're in somewhat of a white collar recession. And I've even been reading lately how a lot of the elite MBA graduates from the Columbias and the Northwesterns and all those schools, they're having a harder time finding jobs. So if they're having a harder time finding jobs, I'm sure that, that's going to just trickling down to those who maybe didn't go to the as prestigious institutions. So just really focusing on your skill set, impact. That's the thing I cannot stress enough, is the impact. You cannot just, focus on tasks. You have to show impact, and you have to be able to associate numbers with it if you can.
That's right. All very, very wise advice for everybody in the community. And Christian, how are local employers, and this is what we're seeing, how local employers and community leaders are adapting to these tools. What role do you and CJW Consulting play in aligning job seeker skills with evolving local employer needs?
So typically when people come to me, what happens is they book consults with me. I have them send me a few jobs of interest, and what I do is one-on-one personalized consultation. I meet with them, and then I find ways to tailor their resume based on the skills that they have, so they can potentially land that job. Now, of course, I can't guarantee that that's going to happen, but I have great success rate with that. And so it's really just, again, focusing kind of on those transferable skills and going from there.
Well, Christian, we really thank you for stopping by and for giving us this wonderful information for all of us here on the Splash Live. Any final words before we let you go for people to take into consideration as they continue their job search?
The biggest thing that I can tell people right now is that you have to be adaptable and you have to be flexible. And so sometimes that means that you may have to step outside of the realm of what you're applying for. The biggest thing, I'm sure we've all heard, that you can't continue to do the same thing and expect different results. And so you have to switch up your job search. Sometimes you may have to apply for some things that weren't necessarily in your normal purview. And then also you're going to have to increase the number of job positions that you're applying for. This is not the, during COVID just a few years ago, there was a huge surge in hiring, a lot of online jobs, a lot of over hiring, and you could kind of quit a job, go get another remote job and, move on. This is not that anymore. So you're going to have to put out a lot of applications and just know, statistically, you're not going to get a call back from the majority of those applications because the application volume is so heavy. So you have to be applying, you have to put yourself out there, and you have to just think outside of the box.
Well, all great information for everybody in the West Bloomfield community to have. Christian, thank you so much for joining us here in the Splash Live today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Have a good day.
You as well. Very, very insightful information for everybody in the community as they continue with their job search. We're going to take one more quick break and jump into a couple more stories right after this. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
Hi, this is Ken Graham, Director of the National Weather Service. Leaving a kid or a pet in a car can be deadly. In fact, every year, dozens of kids die of heat stroke in hot automobiles. Some are left there by caretakers, others get in there on their own, and they can't get back out. All of these deaths are preventable. Even on a relatively cool day or cloudy day, the temperature inside a car can quickly reach deadly temperatures in minutes. To keep your child or pet safe, set reminders, like a simple note on a dashboard, or put your phone or other belongings in the back seat. I always place my backpack in the back. Kids don't see the family car as dangerous, but in just 10 minutes, a hot vehicle can be fatal. Never leave a child unattended. Look before you lock.
And now, back to the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Jake Schaff. Here in Greater West Bloomfield, we are always celebrating our young student athletes. And just recently, one of West Bloomfield High School's most decorated athletes, Brandon Davis Swain, made a return to his roots to help coach the next generation of football players. And I was out at the wonderful Brandon Davis Swain Youth Football Camp to hear all about it.
Oh man, well it's definitely something we looked forward to since last year. We're happy that he's back again the second time in a row. This is a free event that he's offering for the kids. There's a lot of other camps out there, but they all require, a payment. And so the fact that Brandon's still in college, as a college student, has decided to use his time and effort to come out here and give this event for the kids and have kids like my son out here for free. So we appreciate it.
What made you decide to bring your child here today to partake in this fabulous camp?
I brought him here today because I wanted him to see and have the full and true experience of what it is to be a football player. He's really in tune with football, but sometimes it's a bit hard for him just because he sees the battles and the struggles of the other kids and what they can do and what he feels like he's limited to. This is an evolving camp and it's really good for him. And I've known Brandon personally myself, so I feel like Brandon is good outreach on the kids for them to see what they could be in the future.
It's a great feeling, to come back and give to the kids. It's already a great feeling giving back. You're not on the earth for one thing, you're on the earth for multiple things, and one of them giving back to the youth. Yeah, you can't forget where you come from. That's one big thing too. Don't forget where you come from. Always look back and try to improve on how it was a couple years ago till now. So.
How important would you say camps like this are to the kids of the community to really help develop those fundamental football skills?
I think it's important because if the kids come to your camp, they probably look up to you as a college football player. So seeing you, they probably get inspired to do more. In my eyes, do more and probably want to play the sport more too.
Super important. I think any youth programming with good people running it are super important for the community, but it's even more special to see somebody like Brandon and his family come out and run something like this for free of charge for the kids. They're feeding the kids today. Every kid gets a free shirt. They're going to have prizes and raffles for all these kids. It's really cool to see an event like this that's being put on for free for everybody.
What do you hope is the biggest thing that your kid and all of the kids take away from this experience today?
Well, what I want them to take away, it's not easy. You got to work hard to get to that level. So I think this creates a habit. So hard work can get you there. So that's my primary take from it. And you get to meet kids from all different teams, and you get to socialize. And then a lot of them will probably be seeing each other in high school, whether on the same team or against each other. So I think it's definitely a good situation.
I feel like it's important for the community to give our kids something to do. There's a lot of things that they could be doing, and to devote their time to come here today and play football and to really show their skills and put forth the work to become something one day, whether it's an NFL player, baseball player, basketball player, what they decide to choose, they have the choice and to know that they could possibly make it in the future.
What a fun day out in West Bloomfield. But that's going to do it for us today here on the Splash Live. Big thank you to all of our guests and for everyone on the Splash Live team for helping to make this fantastic show possible. I've been your host, Jake Schaff. Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.